Hello everyone, and welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Previously, we proved that Alita Tiala went to Dr. Maractus's office on the night of the murder. But we need to prove that she was there for the documents. Because the safe was opened, a bullet was fired into it, but the documents Alita was allegedly after were not taken from it. And I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do that. Because, I can't, out of all the evidence we have, I can't think of anything that would make it look like they, found in the Maractus Clinic safe? She probably would know. I mean, okay, we know that Alita was most likely the one who was trying to break in on the other day, so if the safe was successfully opened, why couldn't she take the documents she wanted then? Because my leading theory at this point is that Alita held Maractus at gunpoint and coerced him into stealing the cart outdoors and riding it into the park. And I have every reason to believe that Alita was riding inside the cart, and she stepped out with her slippers on. So, the only other evidence I have relating to the room with the evidence in the safe is the lamp. Oh. This happened at night. What if the lamp was the only source of light in the room, and it got broken somehow? If it got broken, then it would be in the dark, so Maractus would be able to hand Alita any file he wanted from inside the safe. Maybe there was another file in there that wasn't Waukie's. And because it was dark, Alita couldn't confirm. And that would be why she would have to go back. That said, the lamp was standing upright on the ground on the floor, so it was moved after it fell, probably. Okay, what belonging of Alita's could make the red stain? It's not blood. That was covered. I'm not sure. Maybe red paint from a bowl? But no, that's weird. I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to just press onward and see what's what. Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have proof I stole that pistol, do you? And that brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Maractus was shot in the temple or not. You went back later. That chart was dangerous, you understand? I needed to get rid of it, that's why I went that day. But you couldn't get the chart then, could you? And later that night, Dr. Maractus was shot. I heard about the shooting, waited a day, but then I had to go back. No easy feat with the cops all over the place. Ah, that was you! Apollo, that sound, it came from behind this door. Someone's in there. A break-in. They left through that window. So you were the burglar. That was you too? If only I had one more minute. Then I could have opened that safe and gotten the chart. What? That's trespassing. And brazen at that. Oh, is this a trial for trespassing now? Besides, you can't blame a girl for wanting to protect herself. They are gangsters, you know. In any case, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination. Admitting the little crime to avoid the big one, eh? The Maractus Clinic. 2. I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. Tell me about this conversation. Why that day? That brat was uncontrollable. He was ready to kill. And that would bring in the police. And that chart would become evidence. And I'd be hung out to dry. Sniffle. But the police didn't check the safe, did they? Well, they thought the crime scene was the park. I'll make sure the responsible parties feel the heat. Such sloppiness won't be tolerated, yeah? I'm kinda thankful for that sloppiness myself, actually. I wanted that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. Later? When I heard what happened, well, I was too scared to do anything that day, so I waited until the day after. The 16th, was it? Of course, you and that middling kid had to get in my way. But why did Dr. Maractus keep that chart around? It was clearly dangerous for him. He could have burned it. Because he's a coward. That chart was his insurance. Insurance? My signature on that chart, to be more specific. That made sure I couldn't betray him. Mutually assured destruction. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have proof I stole that pistol, do you? But you could have stolen it. Could have? Is this some new definition of proof? We'll ask Waki. He'll tell us. No, he won't. Objection! Might I remind you this is a cross-examination? You might want to keep your baseless theories to yourself. Arrgh. He's right, isn't he? And that brat was spotted in the park at the moment of the crime. How would you know that? Yeah, but... But what? You have nothing to say. This case is over. It was over the moment that brat was seen in the park. What's the point in dragging it out any further? Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Maractus was shot in the temple or not. The doctor was shot in the right temple, yes? So it seems. Let's review the facts again, shall we? If the killer was shot from this location, the bullet would have struck our victim square in the forehead. However, the entry wound was in the right temple. Yes, we heard testimony on this yesterday. At the time of the shooting, the witness was standing here. No? Just before the gun was fired, he shouted. The victim turned his head to look and was shot. But that testimony was proven to be a lie. Thank you, Apollo. Our egregious panty snatcher, Mr. Stickler, did witness the crime. But he was standing to the north, next to the trash can where we tossed those panties. If Mr. Stickler shot it from this location, the bullet couldn't hit his right temple. Silly, silly attorney. What? Do you remember what you had for breakfast that morning? Do you remember, Trucy? I always have a glass of milk for breakfast. What matters is one thing: the doctor was shot in his right temple. If that's the case, there can only be one explanation. The panties guy was mistaken. Objection! but his location was proven. You can't write that off as him being mistaken.
Objection!
Then why don't you show us, Air Forehead? Show you what? Must I explain everything? Very well, let's recap. If the witness, Panty Sky, was standing to the north, then where was the shooter standing? From what location did the killer shoot the victim? But wait, if the witness was standing there, how could anyone shoot the victim in the right temple? I merely laid out the facts for us. It is up to the one possessing the shiny forehead to show us. If you can, that is. Walkie Kataki was standing at the killer mark, Wesley Stickler at the witness mark, and of course Pal Maractus was at the victim mark. Let's hear what the defense has to say. Where was the killer standing when they shot the victim? Someplace else. As the facts stand now, we can't explain this crime without contradicting ourselves at some point. But I know why. The real killer shot from an entirely different location. What are you talking about? I don't see any other place. Apparently, Mr. Justice does. Let's hear it. Where in the park did the killer shoot the victim from?
Objection!
Oh. It showed the life bar, making me think I was going to show it right then, but ooh, that's a nice objection. It's time to raise the roof and the stakes. Huh? Penalties are such frightening things, don't you think? What if they were a bit more terrifying? Like so. Okay, I don't like the UI trickery anymore. Double penalty? Air Forehead wishes to take us in a new direction. Then he must be ready for the challenges ahead. Challenge accepted. It's justice time. Are you sure, Apollo? The key is the witness, Mr. Stickler's testimony. If we believe that, and we know where he stood, and the victim turned when he shouted, there's only one place the killer could have been. The killer shot the victim from here. I believe we all owe a debt of gratitude to Miss Alita Tiala. What do you mean? Thanks to you, we had a chance to review the crime. And this time we were prepared. We know that Wesley Stickler was telling the truth. We should have listened to him from the beginning. Wesley Stickler was standing next to the trash can when he saw two men. He shouted, just as he told us in his testimony. And the victim turned to look in his direction. A shot was fired. The victim was hit in the right temple. Oh no. Oh yes. Which direction was his right temple facing at that moment? That's right, toward the noodle stand. Order! 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 So you're saying the killer was inside the noodle stand?
Objection!
Let's think about this a bit more, shall we? You say the killer was inside the noodle stand, which would mean the victim, Dr. Maractus, came to the park, wheeling his own murderer in the cart behind him. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'd think you'd notice if you were pulling someone along. There's something we should worry about before that. Why was he pulling the noodle stand in the first place? Let's deal with our problems one at a time, shall we? Someone was hiding in the stand. We have not come this far to talk about possibilities. Let's talk about proof, baby. Show us evidence that proves someone was in that stand. Can I prove that? You want evidence that someone was in that stand? Well, I've got it. I've got it right here. Intriguing. Let's see what you've got. Show us proof that someone was hiding in the noodle stand. With pleasure. The slippers. Is this the right one? There's no evidence for like the footprint imprint, right? I'm pretty sure it's the slippers, yeah. The Maractus Clinic, and they're covered with paint. These slippers were found in the trash can near the crime scene. And a single slipper print was found at the scene, right next to the noodle stand. Heck! Oh, and Miss Tiala, your toe print was found in the left slipper. Irk! In other words, this is proof you were inside that noodle stand. Eek! That poor wall. And there was only one slipper mark found at the scene. Can this be called a footprint in good faith? Observe the diagram. A park pathway runs right next to the slipper mark. A slipper wouldn't leave a trace on a cobblestone path. Yet you still cannot say this is a footprint, yeah? Why not? You have an impression left by a single slipper. What if it was on the stand and simply fell to the ground? That's just dumb. One more thing. A noodle stand is typically cluttered with the tools of the noodle making trade. There's no room for a person to ride in there. Oh? Well, the lobby of the Maractus Clinic would beg to differ. You have a point. Could someone have hidden in that stand? Apollo, I think I might be onto something. Huh? I think I figured out one of our pieces of evidence. In order to make room in the stand, some things would have to be... Well, Mr. Justice, do you have proof that someone could have hidden in the stand? I can prove one thing. Someone did scheme to clear a space in that stand. Is it... Wait, it's not the bowl, is it? It must be. Scheme. This evidence was found in front of Eldune's house. It was left on the ground. Did scheme to clear space in that stand. Am I overthinking it? Is it really just as simple as using the bowl? Do we use the sandals? Found in Maractus Clinic foyer, big toe print found in the left sandal. No, there's nothing relating to the bowls. It was just found there. Yeah, I think we do use the bowl. This is a noodle bowl from the stolen Eldune's Noodles noodle stand. Yes, and what about it? We discovered a large quantity of these bowls yesterday. In the lobby of the Maractus Clinic. A large quantity of noodle bowls in the victim's clinic. Mr. Eldoon was very clear about those bowls. Well, I don't care who did it. Without that stand, I'm finished. All my noodle bowls were in there too. Yet the bowls were removed. That night, there was space inside that noodle stand. Space created at the Maractus Clinic, no less. Right around the time that you were there, Miss Alita Tiala. Stop! Uh-oh. Clavier looks happy. I won't listen to any more of these wild fantasies. No, not fantasies. They're worse lies than that spoiled brat's pickup lines. I would like to remind the witness of her current status. This court does not consider you entirely innocent. Show me an innocent. I'll show you a fairy tale. In any case, the defense has somehow made its point. The witness had both a motive and an opportunity to kill Dr. Maractus. More fairy tales. This whole trial is a fairy tale. Then please pull us back to down to reality, Miss Tiala. I'm giving you one last chance to explain yourself. This is it. Why was Dr. Maractus pulling that stand that night? And what was Alita Tiala doing inside it? Time to get to the bottom of this case. Tiala's explanation. That night, I went to ask Dr. Maractus for a chart. I had no intention of ever letting that chart fall into the Kitaki family's hands. But Dr. Maractus didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Kitakis had sent me. So I gave up and went home. All I did was talk to him. You knew about the botched operation. So you tried to get rid of that chart to save yourself. I won't make excuses. And I did warn the good doctor. I gave him a chance. I told him that brat got his health checkup report. And that he was coming to settle the score. I see. Very well, Mr. Justice, begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. This is the last testimony. Either I perceive the truth, or it's over. Well... well, does this mean that there's absolutely... I have to use the bracelet? Let's see. What is most suspicious here? This is probably true. That's her motive. That's established. It's fine. He didn't understand. For some reason, he thought the Kitakis had sent me. So I gave up and went home. All I did was talk to him. This is the most suspect. I'm using the bracelet here. Maybe she's scratching her chin. Watch those fingers. Went home. All I did was talk to him. Let's hear that once more. I gave up. Maybe she looks away. Went home. Did I just see... Hello. Gotcha. She's fiddling with her scarf. All I did was talk and lie. What? Show me proof. I'm pretty sure about this one. I think I'm getting the hang of this. A little slip in confidence and they give it all away. The proof is you, Miss Tiala. All I did was talk to him, you claim. Yet you can't hide your own nervous twitch when you say those words. My twitch? What are you talking about? You have a habit of scratching the area of your neck or on the edge of your scarf. What? This is working better than I'd hoped. Her unconscious actions tell the truth she won't say. Habits and lies. 2 dots. Connect the dots and find the truth. Don't look at me like that. I told you the truth. It seems that when you recall what really happened in that office, you can't keep your hands off your neck, can you? Wasn't it the thing that in the first case, Olga Orly was fiddling with her neck as well, like remembering that Shady Smith allegedly strangled her? I wonder if Maractus did the same thing to her and she used the lamp to strike him, but no, surely the sign of any blunt trauma like that, like a bruise, would appear in the autopsy report, so I don't know. It seems that... Well, actually, speaking of bruises, Alita is wearing a scarf. Maybe she's covering up those bruises, if she was strangled or something. It seems that nervous habits are unconscious reactions that manifest when someone is trying to hide something. You can't hide behind your scarf, Miss Tiala. Something happened between you and the victim in the Maractus Clinic office. And I've got proof that shows exactly what happened. It's either the bullet or the lamp. The bullet or the lamp. Well, if we say the bullet, we'd also have to prove that she had the gun. We can't do that yet. But the lamp, it's just a lamp. What's that? You're touching your scarf again. There's something unusual about this lamp. The bulb is broken, and there's a red splotch on the cord. Huh? Seeing how you hide your neck, I think I can come up with a plausible explanation for the lamp's state. Well, spit it out. This talking in circles nonsense is killing me. Very well. The answer is very simple. Miss Alita Tiala, please remove your scarf. Oh, I think I was onto it. Gotcha.
Objection!
This is a trial to determine what happened in that park. Yet we seem to have drifted off target.
Objection!
We'll find out soon enough if we're drifting. As soon as the witness removes her scarf. I won't do it. This is insane. I'm an unrelated third party. You can't order me to remove my clothes. Miss Tiala, I'm afraid you've forgotten what has already been proven. What? You're hardly unrelated. Please remove your scarf. No. No! I knew it. So I was right, wasn't I, Miss Alita Tiala? Oh, she was corroded! Damn! Your neck? That isn't what I think it is. Something did happen that night at the Maractus Clinic. You needed to get that chart back, no matter what it took. even if you had to steal your fiancé's pistol to do it. But wait. Looking at this lamp in the witness's neck, it looks like the very opposite happened. Exactly. The victim in the clinic that night was this witness, specifically. You tried to threaten Dr. Maractus and he attacked you. That's what happened that night at the Maractus clinic. Herg. Sound of bird wings. Order, order, order! Will someone please tell me what really happened? I told you the truth already. I went to the clinic that night to warn Dr. Maractus. That gangster knows everything. He's coming for you. Looks like my clinic's seeing its last patient. We have to get rid of that chart. Quick, open your safe. Give it to me. So you can save your own skin? What? I know what you're up to. You want in with the family. And if they see that chart, you're finished. Leaving me holding the short straw. But if I'm going down, I want some company. You. And what happened next? He jumped at me and knocked me to the floor. Then he took that cord. Pal Maractus was serious. Deadly serious. He really tried to strangle me. I must have blacked out. So you were the victim? And the red splotch on the cord was your lipstick. She's not wearing red lipstick. Those lips look pretty natural to me. I didn't want to remember that night. That's why I didn't bring it up. There. Are you happy now? I was out cold. Almost killed. And you claim I then snuck into that noodle stand? But how could I? It's all bullshit. It's gotta be. What about the bullet fired into the safe? Well, one thing is clear. We now know what really happened at the Maractus clinic. And it would seem that our victim was not entirely without blame himself. I'm sorry. I get so nervous just thinking of it, it's hard to breathe. I've told you everything. Can I go home now? You bear some responsibility for events that day, true. Yet if you were also a victim, this court would owe you some sympathy. Well, Mr. Justice, I believe this clears up the remaining questions for Miss Tiala. When did this happen? Suddenly, everyone's sympathizing with her. I don't know what to think anymore, Polo. I mean, is that it? Do we know everything we need to know about Miss Tiala? Very well. This finishes the cross-examination of this...
Objection!
Clavier? Not so fast. This party's just getting started. Now we rock. What? Those spikes in your head are softer than they look. Or do you not have the stomach to go all the way? Prosecutor Gavin. Pal Maractus choked Alita Tiala. She fell unconscious. But what happened next? He's right. There is more we don't know. But she was choked hard enough to leave that mark. She would have been out for a while. Even still, what if it was her in that noodle stand? Oh my god. What if Maractus put her in the stand? And she came too? That's why she would make such a silly mistake as leaving her shoes behind. Oh my god. I didn't even think about that. Holy crap. Also, this song is a banger. Holy crap. Alita Tiala, half dead. Dr. Maractus pulling that stand. And a bullet fired from inside the noodle stand. What if it's all true? We might have already figured out what truly happened that night. Miss Alita Tiala, as you can see, we're not through with you just yet. You really want to blame me for this murder, don't you? You too, Prosecutor Gavin? Me? Fraulein, I only wish you'd know the truth. Well, let's go back over what we've learned up till now. On the day of the murder, Waki saw his checkup report, from which he learned about the bullet still inside him. So, he took a pistol from the family stash, with the intent to give Dr. Maractus some of his own medicine. And Miss Tiala heard about this from Waki, so she went to the Maractus clinic ahead of him, in order to get rid of the chart with her signature. But then, something happened. Sounds like you figured it all out. But remember, I was the victim. I was out cold. But what about Dr. Maractus? That does seem to be the problem. He had just strangled Alita Tiala, perhaps, he thought, to death. What did he do after this crime? I was just knocked out, not dead. From the state of his clinic and the scene in the park, I think it's clear what the good doctor did next. Well, Air Forehead, care to guess? Well, Mr. Justice, what did Dr. Maractus do? Maybe he did think he killed Alita Tiala. Do I have evidence to show what he did next? He removed the bowls. Do I say he stole the stand, or do I say he removed the bowls? Well, in order to get to his place of death, he had to have stolen the cart, so that's obviously what he did. As his next move, Dr. Maractus stole Guy Eldoon's noodle stand. What? Killing me disturbed him that much? So much he randomly stole a noodle stand. It wasn't so random. Remember all the bowls in the clinic's foyer? Bowls that belonged inside the stand. I think it's pretty obvious, don't you? That stand was at the clinic. However, the question is, why did he remove the bowls? Maybe because the stand was heavy? Or he wanted to put something in the stand in their place. Oh, wait, you don't mean... I do. Dr. Maractus did replace those bowls with something. Your corpse, Miss Tiala. My corpse? Dr. Maractus panicked. He thought he'd killed you. His next move would be to dispose of the body. That's crazy talk. You're all crazy. Then let's think about it. Logically. The doctor had a place to dispose of you in mind. But on his way there, Who should he run into but the defendant, Walkie Kitaki?
Objection!
I question your logic. What's this, Prosecutor Gavin? The park is a dead end. Why would he head in that direction to begin with? That's right. He had no reason to go there. Oh, now I get it. It was a trick. That spoiled brat made him do it. He made the doctor steal the stand.
Objection!
Tell me, why would someone go to a dead end? Unless the park was his destination. What? Apparently, the defense has an idea. Tell us where Dr. Maractus was heading with the stand. Here, please show us on this diagram. Oh my god, I never even paid it any mind, but there's a river right there. To where exactly was the victim dragging the stand? The river. There? That's a river. Yes, Your Honor. I scarcely need to explain why. A perfect place to dispose of a body. He was going to throw me into that river? He didn't have many other options, Fraulein. I believe this clears up all of the remaining questions. The victim pulling the stand and the defendant before him. And inside the stand, you, Miss Alita Tiala. Herc. And then, the denouement. Wesley Stickler of panty-snatching fame walks up. Seeing the two men, he shouts in that instant. So, I shot him? You were the only one who could have stolen Walkie's pistol. It had to be you. Well, Miss Tiala? Nice work. You mean I'm right? I mean you've done a fine job dreaming up a story to get that spoiled brat off the hook. You're the one who's dreaming. Apollo's backed up everything he said with facts. If you're so sure he's making it up, give us another reason. Why was Dr. Maractus pulling that stand through the park? Who knows? But there's one gaping hole in your logic. I think Mr. Gavin knows whereof I speak. Where of what? I can't believe she's still trying to deny this. Is this true, Prosecutor Gavin? Must I always be the one to point out Air Forehead's errors? Maybe there really is something. I believe the Fraulein speaks of Air Doctor's car. He just came home from a hit and run. He couldn't risk being seen out on the streets. His car? That's right. The Maractus Clinic has that big garage. In which sat a green sports car, was it? Why would he steal the stand in the first place? If he wanted to carry a body, he would have used his car. And so we find our victim without probable cause to steal the stand. And our defense without a case. I have an idea. You know that green car? I bet it wouldn't run. It was broken. Ah, what an excellent counter-argument, Fraulein. Too bad you're quite wrong. Huh? Don't tell me you've forgotten what happened to your daddy. Daddy? That's right. That night, the car that hit Mr. Wright was that green sports car. Oh yes, I'd nearly forgotten about it. Afterward, he drove back to the garage. It ran fine. That's right. So why didn't he use his beloved sports car, Irk. A glaring contradiction, to be sure. More glaring than your forehead. No. No! Order, order, order! Well, Mr. Justice, why didn't Dr. Maractus use his car to carry the body? You don't think the magic panties would stop the car from running at all, would you? I know it was shoved at the tailpipe, but are tailpipes really that essential? Is that a groan of surrender I hear? Some advice. Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the past 2 days. Everything I've learned. Mr. Justice, this contradiction casts doubts on your entire case. This is truly your last chance. The defense will explain to us what happened that night. Someone else stole the stand. The car didn't run. He carried the body in the car. What? No, that doesn't even make sense. The car didn't run. Found an exhaust pipe. I don't know enough about cars to know if exhaust pipes really need to be clear to turn on. It must be that, right? Right? And we also know that the cell phone wasn't crushed by the car. We know it couldn't have run. We know for a fact he didn't take his car. I mean, it's gotta be that, right? And also, the accident took place directly outside the Kitaki mansion. That's where not the windshield, I keep wanting to say windshield, it was the side view mirror was broken off. If the Kitaki saw that car, they'd know he was the hidden runner. So he couldn't take his car there. He couldn't take his car out at all, he had to hide. I'm gonna double down. I think it is. The car didn't run. I have an idea. It's all coming together. That night, Dr. Maractus couldn't use his car. Huh, now you're making even less sense than usual. Not according to my information, Miss Tiala. Put one and one together, and the explanation is simple. If it's so simple, perhaps you can show us some evidence. Show us proof why the car wouldn't run that night. The panties? Let's see now. Panties again? All sorts of things come out of my panties. Even the truth. Another crime was committed the night of the murder. The theft of these panties. The latest in a string of similar thefts, actually. But that night, the snatcher was caught in the act. A brave young girl chased the thief until he hid. in the Maractus Clinic garage. What? The snatcher hid the panties there before running. Perhaps someone in this court remembers where he hid them? Why, weren't they found in the car's exhaust pipe? Exactly. By the way, I learned something yesterday. A very important piece of information. And I learned it from you, Prosecutor Gavin. So you were here investigating? And I was on my way home when my hog gave up the ghost. Your hog? My motorcycle won't start. A clogged exhaust pipe. Well, hot dog. Too bad. It looks like such a nice bike, too. Hard to believe that it could break just from that. Cars, motorbikes, they're all the same. Clog the exhaust, and they won't run. I think Gavin is really actually helping us. This guy really is in it for the laughs. My, how interesting. While Miss Tiala and the doctor were struggling, the panty snatcher snuck into the Maractus garage. From that time until the time we found these, that car wouldn't start. What? That's why Dr. Maractus had to use the noodle stand. It was the next closest thing he could think of. Well, Miss Tiala, this wraps your doubts up quite nicely, I think. So it does. Where am I? So dark, can't see, cramped. The pain, my throat's burning. What's your problem? You, Doc, I know what you did. Walkie? You lied to me. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, man. Wait, let me explain. Fine, I'll give you your last request. Listen, you're being tricked, but not how you think. Oh. It's not just me. No, he'll ruin everything. I have to stop him. Cease this at once, you... Funny. This isn't the way it was supposed to turn out. Oh well. Too bad. There's still one mystery. How did you manage to disappear from that stand? In the silence after the shot, I heard the witness running. I believe we heard as much from Wesley Stickler. He went to use a public phone to inform the police, which is when I made my escape. Which is when you left that slipper print. Dr. Maractus didn't bother taking my slippers off. I threw them out after I stepped in that paint, though. That was your mistake? No. My biggest mistake was coming to you for help, Mr. Justice. Huh? I believed in you. You and your anything agency. If anyone would get Walkie declared guilty, it was you. That's the opposite of having faith. I believe we've reached a conclusion of sorts. Prosecutor Gavin, how is Miss Alita Tiala doing? She's confessed to everything. We're processing her arrest now. Prosecutor Gavin sure seems calm for someone who just lost. I think he already knew. He'd figured out she was the killer a while ago. Some advice. Now's a good time to review all you know. Everything you've learned over the last 2 days. I had the same feeling. He lost, but I didn't exactly win either. Huh? Something the matter, Air Forehead? Looks like it's time to announce a verdict. Not guilty! Huzzah! Court is adjourned. June 17th, 4:12 p.m., Defendant Lobby number 2. Great job, Apollo! You did it! Yeah, we did, somehow. Walkie's off the hook. Free to become the gangster he's always wanted to be. And he has you to think, hey, attorney man! You're gonna pay for what you did to my Alita, Holmes! Or to blame, I guess. You give my Alita back! Stupid pointy head attorney with a death wish! Enough, Walkie? Oh, this is either the father or Plum. Yep. Ah! Mr. Kataki! It's high time you opened your eyes, Walkie. What do you know, old man? I think it's about time you opened yours. Giving up the life, trying to become some kind of businessman. Don't talk about what you don't understand, Walkie. I'm afraid the guard is going to throw them both out. If not in jail, wouldn't that be a happy ending? Hey, maybe we can help them out. We know why Mr. Kataki needs to make so much money. Maybe we should tell Walkie. To pay for a better doctor. Wait, no. No, they only found out the bullet was still in there a few days ago. To pay for the wedding. Maybe... I don't know. Oh, Walkie? Apollo has something to tell you. Huh? I do? Way to put me on the spot. What's that? Show him the reason why, Apollo. Why is Mr. Kataki trying to become a businessman? Now, come to think of it, the bullet never did get really answered, did it? What the hell? What is the deal with the bullet? We never discussed exactly how and why it was fired into the safe. The hell? Am I just blanking out here? I don't know. Well, this is the original document that they had that showed that it happened. It has to be that, right? Think about it, Walkie. Think about your condition. I talked with your mother, Little Plum, yesterday. It pays, but we need a lot of money right now. Clean money, that is. She doesn't mean... You aren't really... Are you? I searched the globe, and I found one. A doctor who can take that bullet out of you, Walkie. But it's an expensive procedure. Man, but you got plenty of money already, don't you? I won't use it. It was the gangster life that did this to you, Walkie. I want to help you, and I want to do it clean. Oh. Oh, okay. He just has really, really bushy brows. Okay. Please understand, Waki. Dad. Man, I see how it is, old man. Always you looking out for... Waki? Listen good, old man. One day, I'm gonna take you out. Then we'll see who's the OG. You try to hide in your business suit, I'll find you. Stupid old geezer. Why, Waki? No, it's as it should be. Mr. Kitaki. I liked him more without the puppy dog eyes. I'm glad to have met you. I'm not so good with words. But I know a professional job and I see one. Thank you. Who? Me? I don't think... Someday, I'll bake you one of our latest. The Kitaki Lime Pie. He's opening a pie shop? So long. And he was gone. Well, let's head back, Apollo. To the Right Anything Agency. Hey, since when do I work at your agency? Aw, we make a good team. Don't just stand there, let's get going. Uh-huh. Why not? She did help me out. And there's a few questions that still need answers. Like this power of mine that she showed me. And my bracelet. If anyone can help me figure it out, it's her. Though I can't say I care much for what her father has become. Oh, that's right. We have to go someplace first. Huh? Where? Why, to claim a reward from Mr. Aldoon. Ah, salty noodles. Right, he got his stand back already. Oh, and after that, you can come see my show. With a special appearance by the amazing Mr. Hat. Oh, it's special, all right. Please, anything but him. And that's the second case. Oh, wow. Next is Turnabout Serenade. Ooh. Perhaps it involves some sort of singer? Well, so there's no telling if this game has 4 or 5 cases. If it's 4, we might be halfway through the game already. Well, I mean, the first case was surprisingly long, but it didn't have any investigation phases, so I don't know. Huh. I hope this game has 5 cases. That would just feel right, I think. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens next. So, when it comes to this case here, case 2, I actually really, really liked that. I like it more than some of the cases in game 2 or 3 even. That was a really strong case, and I liked it a lot. It was extremely satisfying to put it together. Like, everything was kind of a bit obvious besides a few things, but that's how I like it, honestly. Just a few hard mysteries, and then some really exciting discoveries and observations that make you really want to connect the dots and prove it, to prove your theory. That was just really good. And I like the characters. They all had so much personality. Yeah, honestly, I don't have a single bad thing to say about that case. Okay, Wesley Stickler was a bit so-so as a character. And, look, I know there's a pervy anime trope that's oh so common about panty thieves, but they actually played it straight and just made it about scientific discovery, I think. Like, I don't know if there's just censorship compared to the Japanese version, or like dialogue is different for reasons, but if he actually was stealing panties just in the name of science to discover it, that's kind of weird, but at least it's not for awful reasons, I guess. And yeah, Clavier Gavin is proving himself to be a very interesting character. He's kind of like Godot, except there's not a shred of hatred or resentment in him. Like, you could always feel that Godot kind of had it out for Phoenix Wright in like a negative way, but Clavier, he was really just here to have fun. And I really like that. He's a good character. Very nice change of pace. Yeah, nothing more else to say. I'm very excited to see more. In fact, for me, I'm going to record some more right away. So, for me, it's going to be seconds, but for now, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Polo Justice Ace Attorney. Thank you for watching, and hopefully, I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.